Assalamu guys, Ifan back again with another video, and this video is in response to a query on a WhatsApp group. Now, supposing you have a table of sales figures for each of your sales staff, and you want to grab, say for example, the top three performers in terms of sales. So how would you have Excel do that for you? Now, if you have Microsoft Office 365 that comes with Excel 365, there is a filter function built into it, which allows you to automate this process. But supposing you are using an older version of Excel, how would you do that? So let's see how we can do it in older version of Excel, and then we'll see how you can do the same thing in Excel 365. Now let's first create some a table of sales figures. So we first column is sales serial number, then you got name of the salesperson, then then you got annual sales, and then we'll have another column called large. I'll explain why we have that. Let's make this salesperson. Okay. Now, in order to build in a level of automation in this, what we'll do is we'll convert this into a table. The way you do that is you click anywhere on where you have this data and hold down Control and hit T as an access. This window opens up. It says Create Table. Where is your data for your table? Right now, by default, it's saying is B4 to E4. Okay. And make sure you check this box. My table has headers. Click on it. And then you click on OK. Okay. Now, you've got this created. Just going to resize this a bit. Now, what we do is the serial number, we wanted to have automatic go from 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. Now, the way we automate that is you take this cell here and you add 1 to it. Now, this is just text, so adding 1 to it will just give you 1. So what we'll do is you can't just use B4 plus 1 because that will give you an error. Let me just show you. B4 plus 1. Okay, now that gives you an error. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the sum function. Sum B4 comma 1. And that there you will not have any errors. Okay, now the salesperson's name, let's assume his name is Bill and he did 3 million in sales. Okay, now you see how it automatically goes down. It's adding 1 to B5, which is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, so the next salesperson is Bob. Let's assume he brought in 6 million in sales. Then you have Smith, and he brought in 4 million in sales. By the way, I'm just hitting tab to have cell insert a line for me. Then I have John, and he brought in 10 million. So looks like a a big performer. Tab to go to the next column. Now, since I'm at the last column, if I hit tab, it's going to come down to the column B and insert a row here. See? And it's auto-populates with the formula. Now I have Tracy, and she brought in 7 million in sales. And then I have Joe, and he brought in 8 million. Okay. Now let's come to this column here. Here what we'll do is we will use the large function. What it does is you tell it where to get the data from, numeric data, and the K means if you put in 1, K, that means the largest. If you put in 2, that means the second largest. 3 means the third largest, and so on and so forth. Okay, so where is this data coming from? Basically it's coming from this column here, the annual sales. So just click on this column here. Because this is a table, it will just use the heading name, comma. We want the largest number here. Okay, so the way we get the largest is you put comma and a 1, but we can just use this serial number. Okay, so so what we'll do is we'll just put B5 and close bracket, and as I hit enter, this formula will auto populate down, and this will become B6, B7, and so on and so forth. See, so 10 is the highest. The second highest was 8 because this number 2. Okay, if you look at this, so data is still the same, but B6 number 2, so it's getting the second largest number, then the third largest number. Okay, so we've got that. We've got the sales figures in descending order. So we got the largest number at the top, and then the second largest, and the third largest, and so on and so forth. So basically, this part here is where you do your data entry. So let's just label that as data entry. Okay. Now, the system that we are building is, it should be flexible enough that you can tell Excel if you want, top 3 or top 2 or the top person or top 5. So what we'll do is we will tell Excel, how many numbers to grab. Okay, so how many let's say we are going to be grabbing the top 3, right? Now the output, we'll put the output here. Okay, so we have the serial number, we have the person's name, and the annual sales. I'm just going to copy these headings from here. Okay, and I don't want the formatting to go across, so I'll just use paste as value. Okay. Now here, for the serial number, for the first part, I just put in 1. And as I come down, we'll come back to the, how we do the next time. So let's first fill in the whole row, and then we'll go to the next row. Now, value. Oops, sorry. Annual sales. Now, what you want to do is, now you'll use the if function. If M5, which is this cell here, is less than or equal to this guy here. And I'm just going to hit F4 to lock this. Okay. If it is, then grab E4. Otherwise, just put in a blank. Oops, and then E4, E5. Okay. Now, we need to grab the name. Here we said that if you put a 0, this should go blank. Okay, because basically what it's saying is this will only have a value if this is M5 is less than or equal to this. Now 1 is not less than or equal to 0, so it goes blank. The moment I put in 1, then you will have that value showing up here. Okay, so let's put in 3 back. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to grab the salesperson's name whose annual sales is 10. Now make sure that you grab from, we looked at this column here, to compare this 10 to this 10 here and then get the name. Don't look at this here because this is just sorting in descending order. So if you were to look at this and then get the name in front of it, you'll get the wrong person's name. You need to be looking at this column. So the annual sale was 10 and the person's name was John. Now, we cannot do a VLOOKUP because VLOOKUP, as I have explained in previous videos, always looks towards the right. Here we are looking towards the left. So we'll use a combination of index and match. Oops, sorry. I need to be punching it here. Is equal to index. Now, what do we want to grab? We want to grab the salesperson's names. And how do we get that? We do a match function. Lookup value. Lookup value would be whatever is in O5. And compare that to whatever is in lookup array is the annual sales. Okay. We want an exact match, so 0, close bracket, enter. Okay. So we've got John with the highest sales figures of 10. But we're not done yet. Okay. What we need to do is we need to go down. I'm just going to copy this, drag this format down. And you notice how it shows up here like this? We will get that taken care of also, in just a bit. Similarly, we'll copy this formula down. All right. Now, here's where the magic happens in column 1. Now, what we'll do is we have to say if, right? I need to put one down. Is equal to if M5, which is this guy here, plus 1 is less than equal to this one here. Basically, I'm doing a plus 1 because I'm in the next line. Then do a 5 plus 1, otherwise do the blank. Okay, and I'm just going to push it down. Now, you've got all these error messaging showing up. So what we'll do is we'll wrap this around with an if error. If there's no error, then do this. Otherwise, just put in a blank. And I'm just going to push that formula down, double click. All right. Similarly, what we'll do is we'll do an if error here. And double click and send it out. Now, we've got John with the highest sales with 10. Next comes 8, which is Joe. And next is Tracy, which is 7. So we've got the top 3. Now, supposing you wanted to grab the top 2. You send it 2 and it just shows you the top 2. Now, if you want to grab the top 4, maybe, the 4. Now you see, Tracy was 7 and Bob was 6. Bob was a 6 figure. Okay, so that's how you would grab, X largest numbers from a table like this. This is assuming you have an older version of Excel. You do not have access to Excel 365. Now this will actually also work in 365. So maybe you want to stick to this method. So your sheet will work for anybody. Your audience could be running 365 or they could be running an older version of Excel. This method will still work for everybody. So if you have to share this sheet with other people, maybe you want to go with this method. But let's assume you do have in Microsoft Excel 365. So what, my apologies, I had to interrupt the video here because there was a truck parked right outside that was blowing his horn. So let's get back where we were. So now what we're doing is we're using Excel 365 to achieve basically this thing here. So we'll use the filter function that says array, meaning what are you filtering? So we are filtering anywhere from B5 to, C5 to D10. So C5 colon D10, that's what we're filtering. Then it says include. What is the, where's the, by include what we mean is what are we filtering? What's the filter argument? So basically what we're doing is the annual sales, which is D5, D10, sorry. D5 to D10 need to be greater than or equal to. Here what we'll do is we'll use a large function. Grab those from this range here where the annual sales is either larger or equal to the largest number. Okay, largest number would be from D5 colon D10, and the largest number or the second largest or third largest number, because we need to figure out how many to grab, we'll use this argument, this number here, close bracket, hit enter. There you go. So it grabbed the same names, John, Joe, and Tracy. But the only problem is this comes nice and neat. It's ordered in the in descending order, which this is not. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll put this in the sort function. Now this is the array, comma, sort index. Are you sorting by the name or by the first column or the second column? We're sorting by the second column. In the sort order, we're doing it by descending. So you put a -1, close bracket, hit enter. Now you see you get the exact same. John is the first one with 10, Joe is the second one with 8, Tracy is the third one with 7. Now if I were to change this to 4, you see the old version is giving you the same thing as the 365 version is giving you. So that's two methods that you can use to filter out data, and based on how many you want the largest or two largest numbers or three largest numbers. So if you have any questions, do put it down in the comment section. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe. Thank you.